Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us for another coffee break video. My name is Natalie Fioravanti, and joining me today are digital forensic analysts Josh and Blake, who work out of the Burlington, Vermont office. Josh and Blake are going to discuss Internet of Things, or IoTs. They will explain what it is, give some examples, and they will also discuss how threat actors can take advantage of IoTs. So first, what exactly is an IoT? And can you give some examples of IoTs that are commonly used?
Yeah, so what is IoT? Internet of Things. So IoT is an incredibly broad term. At a base level, IoT is essentially the blanket term that is given to any device that has the capability to connect online or communicate information. So examples of this could include your smartphone or your smartwatch or baby monitors, doorbells, fish tanks, even Nest thermostats and other devices like that.
So how would a threat actor locate the devices like a doorbell or a baby monitor that you mentioned?
So, because IoT devices are generally connected to other devices, there are a few effective ways of locating these. One method being a tool like Shodan.io. Shodan is essentially a search engine for internet connected devices that scours the internet and parses the banners that are returned by these devices. So, utilizing that information, Shodan can then provide details such as open ports, running services, and even known vulnerabilities that may lead to a compromise. Another good example is war driving. Now, war driving is the act of using a laptop or a smartphone to search for Wi Fi networks, usually while on the move, hence the concept of driving. And there are some apps, such as Wiggle, spelled Wigle, that will allow you to upload this collected data, and it goes all into a map where anyone can put in an address and find all wireless devices that are in that location. So threat actors are utilizing these tools to conduct high-level recons and identify potentially vulnerable targets.
So obviously data is being collected by these devices. Could you give us an overview of what sort of data is actually being collected?
Sure. So, in terms of user statistics, all kinds of statistics about a user are being gathered by wearable smart devices. For example, the Fitbit is tracking step count and possibly heart rate depending on the model. The statistics generated by these devices can be used to form a timeline of user activity by cybercriminals or to obtain data that might be worth selling on the dark web. That is not even to mention medical devices, where hackers could potentially control the medical device and alter the treatment of an individual. In terms of location history, lots of wearables track location history of a user. For example, the Apple Watch communicates with the iPhone, and location history can be saved in the privacy settings under the significant locations option. Other popular smartwatches also track user location history, such as Wear OS by Google. Other wearable smartwatches may contain vulnerabilities that could be exploited by attackers.
Wow, that's really good to know. So what is the impact of a compromise or data being collected?
So, internet connected devices such as Nest thermostats, if they're not secure and exposed to the internet, can be access points for an attacker to gain access to a network and move laterally to other systems, which may contain personally identifiable information. This is a legitimate risk for businesses, but also can be worrisome to home users as well. Cases have been documented where a hacker accesses a baby monitor and threatens to kidnap the baby or violates the privacy of the owner. Some vehicles can now be controlled by apps, and potentials exist for vulnerabilities. If any valuable data is obtained, it could be sold on the dark web or used for the purposes of cyber extortion. There really is no way to be 100% safe, but the best steps a person can take is making sure their IoT devices are kept up to date and making sure that your home router has a built-in firewall and ensuring that using a service such as Shodan, that none of the devices on your home network are directly exposed to the internet. Passwords should also be unique so attackers cannot use tactics such as credential stuffing to access web portals, which control some of these IoT devices.
Well, thank you, Josh and Blake, for taking the time to provide this information about IoTs. And thank you to our viewers for watching today. We hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. If you haven't checked out the previous coffee break videos, please do so on our LinkedIn page. And feel free to reach out to the Kivu team if you have any questions or security concerns. See you all next week.